This program is brought to you by Hungry Jack's and Bunnings Warehouse.
Let's get the biggest round of the NBL regular season underway. The last round of basketball for this regular season. And this is a game where it means very little for Illawarra, apart from some pride, and a lot for New Zealand. If they win, they can get a top 2 spot and get through past the play-in tournament straight into the playoffs. Let's have a look at a same-game multi for this bad boy. I think Illawarra can keep it close. No doubt New Zealand will win. There's too much to play for. Derek Pardon, under 8.5. He'll be kept in check. And Tyler Harvey, he's been on fire. He'll hit a few threes. Enjoy the game and gamble responsibly.
You know the score. Stay in control. Gamble responsibly.
Coming into this game, everyone on their feet at Spark. Pardon. Oh, it's taken away by Tom Abercrombie. And he gets the stop. Break his lead. Tyler Harvey. He'll have the final say one way or another. He's going up from deep. 4, 3 from downtown. Tyler Harvey. Oh my goodness, with 1.3 to go. You knew it was coming, and he bangs it down. Goodness.
Yes, that was round 16 of Hungry Jack's NBL. Now we're at round 18, the final of the regular season. At this stage, all 7 games are live games in terms of shaping the playoffs, including this one. Illawarra Hawks against New Zealand. The Hawks, they'll finish bottom, but New Zealand, they are chasing a top 2 finish and all the spoils that go with it. But to finish top 2, they need to beat the bottom 2 in this final round. Problem for the Breakers is that last time they played Sam Froling and the Hawks, they went down in a thriller. We are at the Wynn Entertainment Centre, the Sandpit in Wollongong, as we start the final round of the regular season. Matt Russell alongside Brad Rosen. I mentioned how exciting this final round is. That means that this new finals format has to be judged a winner, right?
Unbelievable. You look at that ladder and that's exactly what we want. You take the bottom 2 teams away, everyone else is looking to make the playoffs. Hard for Adelaide to be able to do it, but they still can. Kings on top, Taipan second, Breakers, I think they're going to steal second as well. Well, the Breakers have destiny in their own hands. Win the final 2 games of their season, they will finish second, no matter what Cairns do because of percentages. That is the final round. 7 games to decide the top 6. The Hawks, the Breakers, the Sixers, the Kings, and the Wildcats all in action twice. So as we look ahead, let's concentrate on New Zealand. If they are to achieve their top 2 finish and win these final 2 games, what player must deliver? This man here, I've been loving what he's doing over the last few weeks. The way he plays off on ball has been great. He's tall, he's lengthy, he can finish at the ring. His strength defensively, he's been great, but he's led this team great. There's other great players in New Zealand, but I love what he's doing. That's what he does off the on-ball. Little fakes here, and you look at what he does for his teammates. Can shoot the 3, very, very good player.
And in his only game at the Sandpit this season, nearly a triple-double, 17 points, 10 rebounds, 6 assists. That game played a part in seeing him join the field as most improved. If Brad Rosen was sole adjudicator, who would you be awarding?
I love what they've all done, but you can't go against Keanu in that because he's had a stellar career, but that is nothing against that man. He has been brilliant.
Well, the Hawks finished their season with 2 games at home. Jacob Jackomas would love to win both, but at least one more. Why? Because it means they would avoid being the team with the fewest wins in Hawks history. That's where they are at the moment. Only the 3 wins. They're trying to get to 4 with the 83 team at least. A win against the Jack Jumpers on Saturday could take them to 5, and that way they can say, well, at least we weren't the worst in Hawks history.
They've had it very tough. There's no question about that. A lot of injuries, but there's been some good news this week, and let's hope they can get a win.
And the good news is that Justin Robinson has re-signed. He'll join this starting group next season. Of course, he's out of Virginia Tech. He's played NBA for Washington, Oklahoma, Detroit, Sacramento, Milwaukee. What good news. How significant might he be?
Love it. I heard Justin Robinson at the beginning of the year, and it looked like he was going to be great for them. I'm so glad we get to see if that height is what it is in 24.
Well, let's talk about bright spots in this current lineup. Who's the standout? Sam Froling's been great, apart from him.
Yeah, that man, Sam Frolling's been fantastic, but I love what this guy's done. He's come up, no one really knew a lot about him. He's been a huge pickup for them this season. He'll be that backup next year for Justin Robinson. Let's hope he can keep growing.
Well, let's bring in our commentary team. Good evening to Pete Hooley, a man who has this weekend off, Mitch Creek, and Alistair Nicholson.
Great stuff, guys. Beautiful build-up. Thank you very much. Let's get to the champion starting fives for tonight for this clash. And the Illawarra Hawks, Lockie Dent is into the starting five tonight.
Yeah, interesting one. We've just mentioned Dave O'Hickey. He's been playing really well, but he's going to come off the bench. Lockie Dent in there and Sam Froling, Deng Deng. They're going to have their hands full tonight. And there you go, Deng Deng having a chat to Derek Pardon. I don't know if you want to poke the bear too early, but we'll see how it goes.
Well, even when they lost, he had 19 points and 17 rebounds in their last matchup. Mitch Creek, the New Zealand Breakers, that's a good-looking starting five.
Yeah, as we just spoke about, Will McDowell-White playing an absolute stellar season this year with the most improved nominee. Ryan Repair's been absolutely incredible. Derek Pardon holding down the fort in the middle. Brantley and Abercrombie to finish it out. It's going to be a good one tonight for the Breakers.
We are in for a thrilling climax to the regular season to see who makes the play-in tournament, the playoffs. And we're underway in the final round of the regular season. Enjoy the ride with us in the Hungry Jacks NBL as we sort out who finishes where. Mitch Creek kicks back and waits to see where South East Melbourne finish. Dow White with the opening points.
That's going to do him a world of good because we know how exceptional he's been this season for the Breakers. We're coming off a pretty poor game, played 22 minutes, did not score. And the other starting guard, Tom Abercrombie, he also only had 2 points in 28 minutes. So both of those guys will be looking for bounce-back games. But that's a matchup I'm looking forward to. Jarrell Brantley on Sam Froling. A lot of talk that maybe Jarrell Brantley unlucky to miss out on a Defensive Player of the Year finalist. I know what he can do on one end, but I think he might have a point to prove on the other.
Yeah, absolutely, Pete. I think he's demonstrated all year. He can protect the rim. He's been solid in one-on-one matchups all year long. But as we spoke about, that man, Derek Pardon, has been absolutely incredible as well, protecting the rim.
Step back three. He's on tonight. He was 0 from 8 from the field. He's 2 from 2 tonight so far. McDowell White with 5 points.
Oh, he's a pass-first point guard, or a true point guard. We don't often see him hunting his own shot, but that was a really tough mate.
Harvey with the paints. That's what he does. The floater for the opening points of the night for the home team.
Really come on strong in the second half of the season, Tyler Harvey. Struggled early on with his shot, and with all the injuries and ins and outs they've had, he really turned on the Jets in the second half of NBL23. And with the announcement of Justin Robinson coming back, this is the backcourt they expected to have come NBL24. I'm really excited to see the two lefties in action.
Harvey the steal. Deng Deng with the ball. Foul called on Repair. Just to back up what you were saying there, Pete, in his last 9 games, Tyler Harvey has had at least 21 points, between 21 and 28 points, averaging 24 across that stretch. His season average 19, so it underlines the back end of the year that he's had. And here he is again for 2 more.
Well, he's feeling good. He's getting downhill. That left hand for him, we know how dangerous he is.
Go courtside to Matty Russell.
Yeah, just to extend on the conversation regarding Tyler Harvey, when the Breakers first came to Wollongong this year, Isaiah Liafa played every single second that Tyler Harvey was on the court. 30 minutes, 46 seconds each, as we see Pardon elevate there. And they did a great job on Tyler Harvey. Liafa kept him to 12 points at a terrible shooting clip. But then in game 2, they went away from that plan. Liafa only 10 minutes. Harvey had 25 points, including the match winner. I wonder why they went away from that plan, Brad Rosen.
It's a great point you make, Matty. We were here in October and we saw that, and it was absolutely on song. I'm down here against the New Zealand bench, and Liafa, he's starting to get warm. I have no doubt he will be into the game soon.
Well, that might have ended up being around the time Tom Abercrombie couldn't, one, get on a plane, but still overcoming that eye injury. He was always going to come back into the starting lineup and be that leading defender on the wing. That's a great take from Deng Deng. It is interesting they are going with Repair. He's that starting 2-man over Liafa, who was starting a lot as he's about to check in, as Brad Rosen mentioned. But I like it. It really makes them strong on the perimeter defensively. Repair, another one who's come back from injury and playing really well.
And Repair's done a great job just building pressure up the floor. His length and his size is so hard to play against, and he's got those long levers. So if you're crossing the ball over in front of him, he's going to get a hand on it and get a few deflections, which is what they're trying to get with that pressure up the floor.
It's a nice start from the Hawks. With the early lead here. They had the lead against Perth by 5 at half-time in their previous match, but were outscored 56-31 after half-time. That win they had in round 16 over the Breakers ended an 11-game losing streak.
A little bit of flash right there.
Like 7.
Unbelievable pass. All the talk of Wilmington White, just how smart he reads the game. He's always a step ahead in that on-ball screen. Whatever coverage you want to throw at him, it always seems like he knows how to dictate the offense around it. He's a terrific passer. We know that. Into the game is Illawarra, and Tom Abercrombie will sit down.
So the foul was called on Lockie Dent. And he is now going to have a sit down. Swakala Bullock as well. Hickey and Greeder onto the court for the Hawks. Repair to Liafa. Pardon near the baseline. Draws the foul. Ding Ding's not happy. Basket counts.
Well, most players aren't happy with a whistle against them. Ding Ding. It's probably times 2. Have a look there, just leaves his feet ever so slightly. There wasn't a whole lot in it, but it was a great pass from Liafa. That there leaving his feet and then the arm just down. Yeah, it is not straight up. Straight up at the end, while the contact was made, it was probably just leaning over. But Derek Pardon absolutely went to work last time these two teams met. He was unstoppable. Started well here.
5 points tonight. You mentioned do not poke the bear. The bear has started with intent. Really here, Jacob Jacobus.
And as you spoke about, Isaiah Liafa just face coverage.
And one here for Froling.
Great job by Froling there. But as you can see, Isaiah Liafa just face guarding Tyler Harvey there and really disrupting the play and full denial.
Well, you saw a lot of that firsthand. Old Southeast Melbourne Phoenix player and was thrown out there a lot as a development player to kind of be that pest on the defensive end.
And that's how his role started as a DP. You know, he was a young guy that came in. He joined the team of Kiwis we already have over there at Southeast Melbourne, but did an incredible job of just setting a tone defensively, playing smart, taking shots, and then his role grew from there almost into a starting point guard position behind Kiefer Sykes in that in the point guard position for us. So he's really taken some big leaps and bounds, and you know, defense first for him, and he's showing it so far tonight.
Brantley, no problems.
Good knockdown. That looked very illegal on that inbounds pass. And they got away with it. Rob Lowe checks into the game for Derek Pardon, and there's Hickey straight off the bench. Nice little pocket pass. Stays with it.
Back.
It's just another young bright star who's taken every opportunity they've got this season. But Rob Lowe, what a game he had against Melbourne United. 15.6 rebounds in 18 minutes, a plus 18. So the scoreboard really ticked over when he was on the floor.
Brantley wide open look again. Same results. He's hot.
Same spot. Instant replay right there for Brantley, but when he's hitting that 3-ball, he's one of the toughest guys in the league to guard.
What about Ding Ding for 3? No good.
Well, if you're Brantley here, this might be a heat check. Throw it in the post. Go and eat.
He fights on, gets it back. Great block from Ding Ding. And Hickey in transition. Tyler Harvey fakes. And 3. And 1.
I think it's only going to be a 2. It was weird.
Okay.
He had the right idea, the shot fake. Let Wilmington White fly by. So have a look at the Amy replay here. The left foot on the line. Little sidestep to the left, but just ever so slightly took a little move forward as well. And that one will sting for Tyler Harvey, because that should definitely be a chance at 4.
Yeah, that's a tough shot right there. That's a guy who doesn't need any room at all to get his shot off.
So the lead is 1 for New Zealand. It's been an issue for the Illawarra Hawks this season. Only 66.7% they're going at from the free throw line. So essentially 1 in every 3 attempts they're missing out on 3-point opportunities.
Maybe a foul on Gack there. And Jarrell Brantley saying he got Coppon in the face when they double team when they came across half court and was pleading to the referee. He might have very well got hit in the face, but I'm not sure if the louder you yell when you're getting trapped, the more likely the call is to come. You got to get rid of that ball.
I mean, if that works, by the looks of it, he's going to the bench.
Oh, look here. And, oh, got Coppon right in the eye. That's what happened. Tyler Harvey poked him right in the eye. I think his contact might have fell out. He was pleading. Pleading for a call.
Go to Brad Rosen. Brad.
Yeah, right next to the New Zealand bench, just watching Brantley. Yes, it is his contact lens. He's just getting it cleaned out. No cut, frustrated, but he'll be back soon.
Good on you. So the early cries of Hungry Jacks. They will eat in the gong.
No one's going home hungry tonight, boys.
The code is push. Feast away. So repair. In a giving mood. Vidanovic. And Barry Brown Jr.
Done that a couple of times now, Tyler Harvey. Just gets out of position on the defensive end and has that little reach around. Did it when Jarrell Brantley when you were calling for a heat check, Creaky. Tyler Harvey's just got to kind of shuffle his feet, stay down. But Barry Brown Jr., that's one that Roddy Mayo and the Breakers want to get back to firing at full strength, because he was a beast coming off the bench.
Brown Jr. averaging 19.4 points a game, sitting in behind Bryce Cotton, 23.9. The Arthur kicked it out. Repair, wide open look.
Not sure if Izzy understood
Modi Mayo,
how open that door was right then.
Modi Mayo is fuming because you're exactly right. O'Leary had no idea that he was wide open.
Swakala Bullock
that hurts.
Knocks down 3.
That's a great start by Illawarra too, just pushing the number at the other end, understanding a missed opportunity for New Zealand. And
that's going to be Hawks' ball as well. The pressure from Lockie Dent. Deflected it back out off Tom Vidanovic. So 3 ball after you missed that wide open layup. Nice little pass from Lockie Dent. Swakala Bullock knocks it down, and then he pressured up full court. Got a deflection that landed in the hand of the inbound, and they get the ball back.
Stolen.
Gives it right back.
Barry Brown. Foul. He'll go to the line. Matt Russell's courtside.
Yeah, the Thursday crowd into this start by Illawarra. The Hawks out by 2, and part of the crowd tonight is part of the St George Illawarra NRL joint venture. The Illawarra Steelers, they've got their lower grade teams here tonight, the men and the women. Great to see some cross-code support with the Illawarra Steelers out to cheer on the Illawarra Hawks.
Great to see, Matty. So Brown makes the first, and now a chance to level things up again. Can't do it. Gack with the rebound. Dent. Conrad. Oh, there's a few bodies tangling up there. Abercrombie.
No, you got the first. No, I'm like this. No, you're right. It's like this. You just got your own right. Number 10, hold. This way.
And all they do is moan. We got to stop this. The game's got to go. Now. The game's got to go.
Says a coach has probably never moaned in his entire life, like all coaches.
That was what the foul was called on, and that right there was the elbow. So Tom Abercrombie is right. Definitely Coppon, I believe, beneath the eye. But you see that first foul, his arm was up, but Tyler Harvey also crafty enough to get his arm underneath and draw that contact.
Dent. Off the glass, and they're out by 3. This is a great start from the Hawks tonight. The New Zealand Breakers with it all to play for. 2 wins will ensure they go straight into the playoffs. Home semi-final series if they can finish second. Abercrombie for 3, no good. Gack. Bullock. Pops it over the top to Gack into the paints. And with the right hand, he puts them 5 in front.
And a massive shout out to Illawarra right now, playing with huge intensity at the defensive end. You can see here any of the pick and rolls for New Zealand. They're switching their defense, and any of the rollouts, they're doing a great job of rotating early.
Oh, that's tough.
That's a super finish.
I reckon the Cairns Taipans will be cheering on the Hawks pretty loud in this one.
They're on a 10-1 run. The Hawks, prior to those points from Barry Brown. Tyler Harvey's foul.
Danovic just cleaned up Tyler Harvey. Here's Barry Brown Jr. This is just a tough finish. Catches his own. Looked like a block from Tyler Harvey, but have a look at this. Oh, Danovic.
That's almost a free kick in footy.
It's
that one.
Probably 50.
If you're going to the footy, or if you're going anywhere, you're going to the NBL, you need a good car to get there. And this season, with thanks to MG, we're giving away a brand new MG ZS EV electric car valued at $44,990. Enter now at nbl.com.au/winmg for your chance to pick up that magnificent vehicle. And this is really positive for the Illawarra Hawks. Sustaining it's been a bit of an issue. Sustaining their players throughout the season's been tough at times as well. They've had a constant run of injuries.
Spot on. There's Michael Fraser. He went out with that broken arm. So with the re-signing of Justin Robinson, Tyler Harvey is coming back next year. They're obviously trying to think about what they can do. They're very vocal in saying, that's close to push-up. Very vocal in saying they wanted to get a marquee player, so try and get a local Australian. If you get that in the big man department, as Will McDowell-White steps into an open one, that's no good. Then you probably have that chat to Michael Fraser. And there's 3 real elite imports in the guard positions. And all of a sudden, then you're really talking.
Harden will go to the line. You can see what that's done for the mood around the Illawarra Hawks. Justin Robinson recommitting, and also I guess the affirmation for Jacob Jackomas in his first season as head coach. They haven't got the wins that they had hoped for, but it sort of suggests that he's setting up a program that people want to be part of.
Yeah, for sure. And I'll tell you what, I thought that was close. Live play, slow it down, and Tom Abercrombie probably dodged one there. That's one way to clear a defender off you.
Might be a new technique I use next week, Pete. Clear some space in the post.
So you're telling me, and if you get that call on you, you will bring up that clip right there and say, hang on.
I will bring that up. I'm going to clip it right now to the producers here and just say, can you put that on my Dropbox right now real quick?
Creaky's got a file on his computer that just is called precedent.
I'm going to step out. I'm on the way out.
We're getting word through that that's been clipped up for you, Creaky. Here's Gack. He knocks down another 2. The biggest lead of the game with the Illawarra Hawks at 7.
This is the danger time for any team, understanding that one team, yes, has it all to play for, but a team with not as much to play for right now, apart from pride in a few other areas, are absolutely stepping up to the challenge, and you love to see it, guys.
Well, we talked about, off the top, that game winner from Tyler Harvey over in New Zealand. I think we forget Hawks were putting them to the sword for the majority of that game. They came out with more energy, and New Zealand made a massive run, and that turnover from Sam Froling really gave them the chance to win that game. But Illawarra played better for the majority of it.
Gack into the paint. 2 shots.
And these are the minutes here. If you're an Illawarra fan, you're probably thinking, why don't we see more of Gack throughout the season? I know Mango Mathiang was a mutual release to go and play elsewhere. And the rest of the season, overseas, comes Gack. Just another young emerging star in the NBL who's taking their opportunities.
In the lead up to all of that, we saw Tom Danovic go flying. Not sure what happened there. He was seeking some clarification. So they've been better from the free throw line tonight so far. 4 of 5 at 80%. Gack on cue.
It might be commentator's curse right there, mate.
I think so.
But this is great from Illawarra. You understand that you mightn't have all your stars on the floor, but this is absolutely crucial for your development as a ball club. Understanding some of your young guys are now coming in, making big plays, against what many are saying New Zealand to be real title contenders this year. It's a very pleasing sign if you're at the Illawarra Hawks right now.
Won the championship 4 times, the New Zealand Breakers. The last of those wins was in 2015, and the last 4 years have been very difficult for them. 10th, 8th, 6th, 6th. They've had that trying period through COVID where they kept the competition going by sacrificing themselves and leaving home for long periods.
Well, both teams are starting to really get in trouble with the physicality. 13 fouls in this first quarter. No one there, just a bit too overzealous, trying to push Pardon off the block. There's Mody Mayo, he's been terrific. Not only just this season and for what the team's done, but really the whole Breakers organisation to bring them back, bring that culture back, and identity to New Zealand basketball, and it's been terrific to see.
The best first quarter this season, the Illawarra Hawks, was 31 points against Melbourne United in round 9. They equal it. Hickey on the drive, kicks it out. Madronya bides his time, 4 on the shot clock, goes baseline and comes up with a spectacular way to finish. An excellent first quarter of basketball from the Illawarra Hawks. How was that? So they chalk up 30 in the first quarter, the Hawks. They lead by a game-high 9 points. And that is an early statement made by the home team at the Sandpits. It is the Illawarra Hawks leading the playoffs potentially bound New Zealand Breakers 30-21. A highly encouraging first quarter for the Illawarra Hawks. The Breakers led by 4 points early. Tyler Harvey got hot again, as he's done before this season. Only a week or two ago against the New Zealand Breakers in that extraordinary win. 10 points in the first quarter for Tyler Harvey. And it is the Hawks leading 30 points to 21 as we start the second period.
Well, Mody Mayo wouldn't be happy with the defensive effort from the Breakers. Yes, they hit some tough shots, the Hawks, but you give up 30 points when you're playing for the top 2 spot, and there's Sam Froling, too easy to start. Hawks are shooting 72% from the field. They've only taken 2 threes from the entire opening quarter as well. So everything else is around the rim.
Brad Rosen and Matt Russell have had their ears over the huddles. What can you tell us, lads?
Really pumped Illawarra Hawks huddle Alistair at quarter time. They love the fact they've kept the Breakers to 21. In fact, the coach, Jacob Jacoma, said, boys, they'd love to be ahead of us by 60 by now. Keep your foot on the throat. Do not feel sorry for them. Keep grinding. Beautiful from the Illawarra Hawks, Sam Froling. Brad Rosen, down to you.
Well, I heard Hull say that Modi would not be happy. That's an understatement. He stood every player up and absolutely hurled at them. You could hear him yelling, enough. This is crazy. 30 points. What are we doing? Enough. We now start to play.
They're going to have to lock up on this end. Because the other end, they're getting some points. There's Tyler Harvey. I'll tell you what, that pass from Alex Majonia, we're going to be seeing that a few times. A little over the shoulder to Sam Froling.
Brantley trying to get busy, kicks it out. And that is long from Cam Glidden. Hickey. Froling waits to make his next move on the spin and the finish on Pardon. And one. This is superb.
It's just a tough take from Sam Froling, and he can do that. He can finish with either hand. Puts the spin move on, and just talking about a young star playing with confidence. All the trouble, disappointment Illawarra's had this season, he has been a bright spark, that's for sure. Been outstanding.
Talk about that pride factor, trying to avoid the worst season ever for the Hawks. 4 wins back in 1983. We've got 3 this season. And they're bringing the pride tonight, no doubt about it. 14 points, a game-high lead. Glidden. And the left-hand finish from low. Madronya, Hickey, and unable to finish. Ding, ding. Breakers ball.
As you can see here, just that short roll action. Sam Froling, just patient, knowing he likes to use his left. And then, no, look, dime. Beautiful finish by Froling again.
So, the short roll, Creaky, just for those youngsters watching on who might not be on top of it.
So basically any pick and roll action, say at the top of the keyway, the 5-man or the 4-man, the big fella is going to just roll not all the way to the basket where the NBL logo is under the ring, but just to that foul line area, understanding that the low side or the weak side, the person who's going to rotate on defense is going to come across. So you roll just a short distance. We call it a short roll. We normally hit that action. And then from there, you've got wings, 45s, or as we saw before, Sam Froling, a beautiful spin move.
All right, Justin Robinson, he's been the story for the Illawarra Hawks of great positivity of late. And let's have a little listen to what he has had to say about the vibe of playing in Australia.
Illawarra, I'm grateful to sign back for next season. I was taught not to start things I can't finish, so that didn't sit well with me. But I'm excited to get back to Wollongong and embrace the culture and bring some wins back to the city.
Fantastic news for the Hawks. I'm sure the entire organisation's very happy about that, Matt Russell.
Why don't we ask the new CEO, Stu Taggart, about that news this week. Stu, Justin Robinson coming back next season after being injured after game 1. It must have given the whole organisation a huge boost this week.
A huge buzz. I was lucky enough to meet Justin very briefly in December, and no one says a bad word about him, you know, on court, off court. So he's been great in the community, and we're really looking forward to what he's going to bring the club next year.
Now, we should tell everyone that you helped oversee cycling's World Road Championships that were held in Illawarra spectacularly this year. You've thrown your bike away and picked up a basketball. Why join the Hawks?
Oh, look, I think it's a really exciting opportunity. I think it's a club that's really well respected in our region, in our city. And, you know, we're building, we're growing, and I want to be part of it, and I'm really excited about that opportunity.
With a club that has a general manager of basketball, tell me, how does the CEO fit in?
Oh, look, we've got a lot to do off the court as well. So Matt Campbell's doing a great job with Jacob and the team. We're doing a lot of planning for next year already. We'll get through these next 2 games. Had a great start tonight.
And your priorities too, what are they?
Oh, there's plenty of priorities. I'm spending the time. I'm only 8 days into the role. So I'm doing a lot of listening in this first month and and looking forward to working hard over the next 6 months leading into next year.
You sound like a busy man. Let you go and enjoy the rest of the game. Thanks, Stu. Good on you.
Great stuff. Courtside there.
Well, that was back-to-back 2 elite defensive possessions. That wall up by Dave O'Hickey, it looked like, on Rob Lowe down that New Zealand end, and then taking a charge on the other. There was a quick timeout that led to all that from Mody Mayer after just an ill-advised pass on the offensive end. He's just not happy with the level that his team is currently playing at. Getting outworked on both ends and out-executed.
And outscored. 25 of the past 34 points in the game have been scored by the Illawarra Hawks, and that was after New Zealand had led 16-12. So that will help the Breakers.
Cam Glidden can do. Feet set. Ready to fire.
Ding ding. The 2-point attempt. And the foul called on Wani Swakala-Bullock.
That right there, that possession from Azaliafa, it's exactly what we were talking about in that first quarter. So the ball goes to the big man, and you immediately basically put a glove around Tyler Harvey, and it looked like it could have been a potential offensive foul from Tyler Harvey trying to throw Liafa out of the way. Deng Deng had to shoot the mid-range jump shot. There was nothing else on.
And if you're wondering about the strength of Azaliafa, he doesn't look like the biggest or the strongest, but I'll tell you this much, playing with him in Southeast Melbourne, anytime I got to switch on to anyone or anyone in the league, I feel like my odds are pretty good. But that's one man who is an absolute pit bull, to say the very least, and you just could not move him when he was defending the post. So incredibly strong, very fit, very smart defender, and as you can see, doing a great job on Harvey in the second quarter right now.
4 on the clock. Swakala-Bullock. Hand in the face, short. And Barry Brown Jr. to Brantley. So they're back within 11, the Breakers. Can they get it into single figures here? Brantley won't go. Froling goes to work again. He is putting up some performance tonight.
And that's a scout breakdown right there for the New Zealand Breakers. Rob Lowe letting Sam Froling get back to his left hand. We know that's his favourite hand. I'm not sure if it's been checked out by the medicos, but I think he actually has 2 left hands. Can't confirm that just yet, but...
Hand in from Tyler Harvey was critical. Gack to Dent. Froling the offensive board. Gack, Swakala-Bullock and Dent again. Dent's going to maybe pull the trigger himself, kicks it out. Froling will pull the trigger.
Oh, just threw it to him. Had to let that fly. Sam Froling. Was a better defensive possession from the New Zealand Breakers. Got themselves down 11.
Brantley.
That's just a fantastic wall up from Gack. Didn't bite on any shot fake. Used his length to make Brantley feel troublesome at the rim.
McDowell White construct here. Little push. Glidden back to McDowell White for 3. No good. Follow-up, no good from Lowe. Worrying signs here for the Breakers. They fight hard but can't get it back. Dent, Froling, Gack, underneath. Brantley, and a jump ball. So Brantley refused to give up on that.
Just playing hot potato right there, and great effort by both players. Illawarra just relentless right now at both ends of the floor.
I want to send the fans out on the right note. It has been tough. This is a really good, promising start in doing just that.
So the big focus for the New Zealand Breakers this year was 16 wins. Could they get the magic 16? They've achieved that. Mody Mayer, a very happy man.
You're not going to be content with making the finals. You want to go much further. But last week we saw a marvellous moment when you had your 16th win. You just took yourself away and had a bit of reflection. Why did that mean so much to you, finally ticking that first box, making the finals?
What you saw was a private moment, not a marvellous moment that somehow became not private. 16 means a lot to us because it's something we've been chasing for a long time. And making it to playoffs means you did things right. And I'm proud of the things we've done right. other than that, it's over. It's last week. I forgot about it. It means nothing for today. Our job today is to take care of business in this game and then on to the next one.
Overcome, wasn't he? Didn't want to elaborate too much.
Well, but that's, if you've had a chance to meet Mody Mayo and really pick his brain, one, he's a fantastic basketball brain, but that's my favourite part about him. And speaking to him in the Blitz, when they were starting to play some good basketball early on, I like the style of play that you're running with. And he was like, well, that was yesterday's game. He was like, I don't care about that. He goes, I'm just worried about what's in front of me, what's in front of the team, and I want to continue to get better every single game, and that's exactly what he's done. And just speaking of the players, he's one of those coaches that every player would love to go to war for. And that's why they find themselves in this situation.
And it's moments like that you want to see from your coach as well. You want to see that he is real, that he is a human. Because sometimes our coaches seem indestructible robots, like they're just going through, you know, the systems and the processes every day. And sometimes it's nice to see that raw emotion and to see that moment. I know as a player from even another team, it was extremely special and something that you can definitely feel the love that his team would have for him.
Liafa pulls the trigger long. Vodanovic the rebound. Dent the hustle, but Rupert keeps it alive, kicks it out to Brantley. He pulls the trigger. Off target.
And Illawarra just got to box out right now. Too many second chance opportunities here for New Zealand just to keep them in the game.
Brantley, and underneath Vodanovic, who's played every game this season, comes up with the finish. Well, Matt Russell had his ear over the timeout. We'll just find out what was said. Matty.
Jacob Jacomas delighted. He said ball movement, tempo great, aggression good, just be a bit smarter about it. Brad Rosen at the Breakers.
Yeah, love what Mody does, and I just listened to you guys talk about him there. That timeout, he grabbed Brantley, who was extremely frustrated, and spoke to him alone on the side of the court and just told them he needs to calm down and take it. The next two possessions went into him. They get the offensive board, then they score. Mody controlling this game at the moment for New Zealand, doing a great job.
That's what you have to do with your leaders when your team's not performing, and we've already seen and heard that he's given them a rev up and a couple of sprays already that it's saying this performance isn't good enough. You take away a couple of your leaders and say, I need you to lift. I need you to try and spark something here for the team.
Couple of shots coming up for Lockie Dent. And you can grab any large burger meal at Hungry Jack's, enter your receipt code, and you can whopper your way to LA. 4 tickets, flights, spending money and accommodation to a basketball game in the US. All you're going to do is grab any large burger meal and enter your receipt code to win. Margin back to 10 the way of the Hawks. It's 30-21 at quarter time. So they're maintaining their gap on the Breakers to make any significant inroads. Barry Brown Jr. to try and change that. He drives and finishes.
And that's just too easy if you're Brown. Gives himself a beautiful opportunity as a left-hand layup, understanding that he's a little bit quicker than his defender there. And that's one man you don't want to get going right now is Brown if you're Illawarra.
Ding, ding. They came at him from all angles, travel. The defense, they're ratcheting it up, and that's what the Breakers do.
That is better, and you're spot on. You're one of the best defensive teams all season long. And it starts with their physicality. They've already had 8 fouls in the first half. They had 6 in the first quarter, and when you understand the way the game's being officiated, then you have to just start to figure out, okay, we've got to adjust. A lot of things are getting whistled, so we've just got to play through our chest. You see Vodanovic there. Stay down, hands up, allow Jarrell Brantley to come in and rip that ball away.
Barry Brown. Hawks come up with it. Dent, Swakala, Bullock, Greeter, Froling and Deng Deng on the court at the moment for the Hawks. Brantley, Brown Jr., McDowell, White, Rupert and Vodanovic. As Dent pulls the trigger and knocks down the 3-ball. That puts the margin back out to 11.
Lockie Dent with 6 points right now, just being that spark off the bench, creating, making plays is Dan Greeter.
Outstanding. He goes again, but he can't win possession. Repair in transition, and he will go to the line for 2.
Dan Greeter, he is an Energizer bunny. That's 110% every single time. Here's the Amy replay. Lockie Dent shakes off repair. It's a late switch. Danovic takes a step backwards. You watch Topo Danovic here. He calls the switch and expects the drive. That little step towards the basket on baseline was enough for Lockie Dent to stop on a dime and knock down the 3-ball. Brown repair showed. We always talk about what he does on the defensive end. That's just a little flash of what he can do on the offensive end. That length, his athleticism, and
no points tonight. That changes there.
And Greg, you played last year, obviously, against Usman Jeng, Hugo Besson. Now another next star round repair who's highly touted. Any similarities we talk about Usman Jeng, where he went to OKC, they've got that length, they've got similar type of style. Obviously, I think a lot of people are really high on repair. Any similarities, differences that stand out?
Yeah, I think at first it takes a little bit of time just to kind of get used to the league. It's a very fast-paced, very physical. A lot of players are very skilled and very smart. So you're not just going to walk in being an athlete or just being a scorer and just flow into a team and have those moments. But I think he does have similarities to Usman last year. But now I think it's one of those times where he's got a bit of time in the league. You've seen him with a few injuries, but now he's starting to play a bit of that 1-2, guarding, you know, the point guards and using his length, switching defense that New Zealand do. But now it's about just taking the right shots at the right time, and I think he's doing that.
It's a great pass from Froling and Swakala Bullock.
But he got set up there. That looked like miscommunication. Barry Brown Jr. thought there was a switch and he was going to be covering the basket. He had to arrive late in the end.
Brantley, another open look. He's off target again. Under a minute to go until half-time. As it stands, the Hawks have built on their quarter-time lead. Harvey hasn't scored in this quarter. After 10 points in the first. Foul is called on Vodanovic.
And you have noticed that little bit of edginess here from the Breakers. And Jacob Jacoma said it in the first quarter. He said they are talking a lot. And that would be a little bit of frustration, no doubt, because they come into this game fully expecting to win it and get one step closer towards finishing in second spot. They find themselves in a little bit of a hole here. It's Tyler Harvey, quick 1-2, that's no good. And they are getting a few things whistled.
They are. Fugazi himself slapped away. Froling with the block.
There is an egg on that ball.
And underneath, ding, ding.
Yeah, you get a timeout here with 25 seconds to go.
14 points the lead. It's back out to a game high. What a game we've got unfolding here. The Illawarra Hawks have really stepped it up tonight.
That's the block, the defense leading to offense from Sam Froling. That ball might look like when you get told as a kid not to sit on your basketball at camp.
A couple of eggs.
Deforms it a little bit. That's probably got the same thing after that.
It's a new skills dribbling basketball, I think, Pete.
Is that what they're going with?
Yeah, you bounce it, goes a different direction. Test your handle.
So the New Zealand Breakers have spoken about what this means for them tonight. Their destiny in their own hands. Win their last 2 games of the regular season. They go straight through to the playoffs, to the semi-final series. If they lose tonight, though, that changes the complexion of things a bit.
And this game, we stating the obvious in terms of a danger game, because you're playing the bottom team who has nothing to play for but pride and send their fans off the right way. It is a free swing for the Illawarra Hawks. They can come out, play loose, play with a lot of energy. My favourite part about this first half from Jacob Jacoma is he is just running through everybody. Madroni's been on the floor. Tim Conrad had minutes. Gax played 8 minutes without Mango Mathiang. So they're fresh. They're getting up and in. They've come with more energy. Put up 47 points on one of the best defensive teams in the competition. And on the flip side, New Zealand have only scored 33 themselves. So it's been an unbelievable first 20 minutes.
They're pretty happy about proceedings. So the lead has been 14 on 3 occasions in this quarter. Never been more.
They've drawn up here for the last play. The first half, try and go into the locker room with some momentum. A little bit of positivity.
14 points against Tasmania in round 7. The fewest the Breakers have scored in a second quarter this season. So far, they've scored 12 in this second quarter. And that might be all. 8 seconds to go. They'll get a chance.
Tell you what, Tyler Harvey might have a bit of a case. He read that. Looked like he took a charge. Have another look at it here from Barry Brown Jr. Oh, my.
He might be a little bit disappointed he didn't get that one there, Pete.
Well, he stood there. You expected Barry Brown Jr. to kick the ball and just kind of held his ground, got run over.
Five seconds. And Illawarra fouled. And we'll go to the line.
You never like that if you're Sam Froling. You know all about that, is in that power forward position when the guards are trying to overplay or not where they should be with 5 seconds to go on the shot clock, and you've got to try and put the fire out with a guard coming full steam ahead and you're out of position.
Yeah, it's not a nice position to be in, mate. You turn around, you look up, and you've got, you know, 2 guards sprinting at you, coming straight at your body. You've got to try and wall up and get your position there, but if you're out of position like Sam, a little bit hard. But Illawarra with the chance, 6 seconds to go.
Be able to put up a nice century.
Swakala Bullock, Dent for 3, and he drops it. These Illawarra Hawks have the fans out of their seats, and with the Breakers, who have it all on the line, the bottom-placed Hawks consign them to their worst second quarter of the season. Let's go courtside. Matt Russell.
The man with a hot hand, Lockie Dent, just talk us through that last shot, seconds to go. He was never going to miss.
Oh, I caught it good and let it fly, and it was good to go, so yeah.
50-34 at half-time. This is the bottom team against the third-place team. That first half looked like fun for the Hawks.
Yeah, I mean, we all enjoy each other's company, and we're playing hard. We've done it all year, so, I mean, 2 to go, and we're just going to have fun with it.
I heard the coach say 2 games to go, everybody plays, so he's rotating the bench. But is that hard, having so many different looks on the court in the first half?
Not at all, man. We do it at practice every day, and we have fun with each other. We love each other, so it's great.
How are you going to go on with the job?
Keep doing what we're doing.
You're doing it well. Well done, Lockie. He had a big start to the season. At this rate, he's going to have a big finish as well. Lockie Dent helping the Hawks lead at 50-34 at half-time. The Breakers' top 2 ambitions relying on a big second half. given the ladder. It is a stunning halftime scoreline at the Sandpit in Wollongong. The Hawks in last place lead top two aspirants New Zealand 50-34. Brad Rosen, I feel for the paint in the Breakers dressing room right now. I suspect that as Modi Mayor rips into his team, it is peeling from the walls.
He was so animated in that before the halftime. I can only imagine now. He'd be frustrated. That's the situation. They came here wanting to try and lock up two spot. They knew what they were going to get into. They knew Illawarra had nothing to lose. They were always going to come out like this. He'll be disappointed that his players weren't able to match it. 30 points they gave up in that first quarter. 20-odd points in the second quarter. It's just not enough.
My maths isn't good, but that's 50 for the half, and the defensive performance by New Zealand surely will be the subject of Modi Mayor's grief at halftime. The Hungry Jacks halftime highlights will have a range of people contributing for the Hawks. Gee, they spread it around nicely, didn't they?
And as bad as New Zealand have been playing, give credit to the Hawks. They've been playing outstanding. Look, they're moving the ball around. Lockie here, coming off on balls. They're doing what New Zealand do to a lot of teams. They finished the first quarter on that great make, and then you look at they finished the half on Lockie Dent's great. That pass is outstanding. I love what Lockie said to you at halftime. We love each other. We're mates. Yeah. We're enjoying it, and geez, does it show.
They've had a really tough season on many fronts, but they've been on the record of saying we want to reward our fans these final two home games. See the energy there, great energy all half from the Hawks. I wonder how the Breakers get back into it. Certainly they've got to cut the Hawks shooting clip at above 60% and improve their own at 35%.
Well, you look at it, they made 20 shots, exactly what you said, out of 33. They've only shot 8 3-pointers for a Hawks teams that shoot a lot of threes. So now that they're not shooting so many threes, what does that tell you? They're dictating the play. So for the Modi now, what he's got to do, they've got to get back into the swing, tighten their defense, start to get Illawarra shooting from the outside. Miss, run, New Zealand are back into this game.
Great expertise from a former Kings captain. Let's get some more expertise at the analyzer. Pete Hurley, Mitch Creek, over to you.
Well, we're talking about the Breakers, and we've got a couple of clips to showcase what they did do well and what we didn't see enough of in the first half. And this right here is an example. This is why Derek Pardon is Defensive Player of the Year finalist. So this is Derek Pardon, a 5-man on Wani Swakala Bullock. But let's just watch how he shuffles his feet and stays in front of the ball. The ball comes back. Wani Swakala Bullock tries to get ahead of speed. He's going to stay down. But this is what the Breakers did really well right here. Once they realise you've got a man who's going to wall up, clear up that, Barry Brown Jr. goes back to his man. Tom Abercrombie comes back to his man, and they just blow the play right up. So this is what happens. You get nothing out of it, and you play a really good defensive set. Unfortunately, Illawarra have been playing well. They're going to knock that down. That happens. You just live with it and move on. And Creaky, this one here, this is what Illawarra has done really well in that first half. We talk about the short roll. Why is it so successful in this?
Well, the big key here, Pete, is understanding who the rotation guy is. As you can see, the low help is Barry Brown, but as you see, Brantley comes to take this out of position. You've got a guy on the 45, you have Dave O'Hickey down here playing the baseline, and Sam Froling rolling down the middle, catching it in this space. Now, you're going to make 3 reads. Hit the 45, hit the corner cutter, or make a play on the rim yourself.
Sounds like a man who loves to play in the short roll himself right there, Mitch Creaker. This is what the Breakers started to do well with Barry Brown Jr. And this is what happens when Illawarra are playing, and they're playing a little fast and going at full speed. This is what the Breakers like to get to, where they set Rupert here, and this 5-man comes up to set a little flip screen to get Barry Brown Jr. going downhill. The problem is when you're up and about on the defensive end, you forget that you've got to stay in front of the ball. Dan Greeter opens the gate, and Barry Brown Jr. just got downhill. So they've got to be a little careful. You're playing overzealous, you're playing excited. You've just got to make sure you still play really solid defense. But to be honest, that was a pretty good first half from the Illawarra Hawks.
Absolutely, Pete, and I know that Brad Rosen was watching all that intently. And you've got a question for Creaky about the Breakers' mentor.
Yeah, I want to ask you, Creaky, if you're in this situation, you're down by 16, you know you want to win to get second spot. Does the coach come in and rip everyone? Is that the captain's job? Or does the coach come in and say, everything's all right, fellas, let's stick to our plan and we'll get going?
I think it's a tough one to decide in the moment, but for me, as a player, you already know, you walk into that change room, as a leader, as a captain, you've already looked everyone in the eye, you've had that spray, you've had that moment, then it's, okay, let's settle. The coach then walks in and he probably lightens you up another one, gets you where you need to be mentally, says let's focus, get back out there in the second half, 0-0, go out, take control of the third, and see what happens in the fourth.
Thank you, Mitch Creek. Pete Hooley will be back to you and Alistair Nicholson very shortly. The Breakers are back out, but they're down by 16. We know the Hawks have led by big margins this season, have been unable to close it out. Is tonight the night? Well, still 2 long quarters to go, and the third is up next.
Lovely scenes earlier tonight. Kevin White presented with his 300th game ball and recognised on his home floor with his family what we think is probably his last NBL game. Over 300 played with the Kings, the Hawks, the 36ers, the Wildcats, and the fans showing their appreciation. Pete Hooley, you're lined up against him.
Oh, yeah, I'll tell you what. No official word on what's next, but that man right there, if you ever need the epitome of starring in your role, it's been Kev White. He's never going to be that 20-plus point scorer, but he was always someone you wanted to have on your team to go to battle with. And that's just the epitome of a guy who knew exactly what role, and it would change every single team he went on or whatever season, and he would accept it and he would star in it. So, unbelievable career if he does decide to officially hang him up. And it was a great recognition before this game.
Craigie, speaking of going into battle, that's exactly what the Breakers are going to need to do in the second half.
That offensive rebound from Sam Froling. Firstly, the moves from Tyler Harvey, and Sam Froling just absolutely snatched that from Will McDowell.
Martin has not been any greater in the game so far. 16 points courtesy of Lockie Dent's three-pointer. Right on the stroke of half-time. Pardon, he's confronted, kicks it out. McDowell White, Brantley an open look. Bread and butter for him.
It's been his corner tonight. That left side. Hit all three from that left pocket.
Brantley, 11 points. 36.4 from the field, 4 of 11, but 3 of 6 from outside. And another opportunity now for the Breakers to eat into the margin. Crombie and Brantley. Dow White, and up goes Pardon, and he is blocked.
Froling, what a block.
Froling right there in his face.
Oh, timing.
Modi thinks that should be a foul. Froling thinks he might capitalise. Can't. Repair. Abercrombie.
Oh. Abercrombie. Having a bit of fun. Here's the Amy replay. Have a look at Tyler Harvey. Just goes flying into the cameraman, takes him out. Have a look at that. If you're ever gonna crash into someone or something like Tyler Harvey did there, thankfully, thanks to Amy, they're gonna look after you.
That shows the commitment of our NBL crew who put themselves on the line to ensure that you get the very best coverage of this great competition. Harvey. All right.
Illawarra's been a little unlucky right now. They've got some good looks on the rim. A few bounces that haven't gone. For Tyler Harvey, that's an absolute layup. Left-hand floater coming down the middle of the floor.
I love what Jacob Jacobs is screaming on the sideline right now. He's saying we just got to keep playing. You don't get something that goes your way or a shot doesn't fall that you normally hit. Put it behind you and just keep playing. It's repair. That's going to count. Go to the line for a bonus. Positive signs here for the New Zealand Breakers. And one surprising thing in that first half, we only saw Barry Brown Jr. for 8.5 minutes. But in those 8.5 minutes, he was minus 22. So that is really worrying signs when he's on the floor. You know, just under 9 minutes, the team was outscored by 22 points. And I'm sure Matty Mayo at halftime wouldn't have singled out too many players. Just as a collective unit, they have to be better, but they need their superstar off the bench to come in and have a big impact in this second half.
Harvey hasn't scored since the first quarter. He notched up 10 points. Here he goes. There we are. Harvey, you can't keep him quiet for long.
And that's a terrific play. That is absolutely the elite of the elite doing what they do best. No dribble offense from Tyler Harvey. Sets up the overplay on the defense. And without taking a dribble, performs a step back. Look at this, the overplay from Tyler Crombie, straight into a step back. Brantley, thank you very much. I'll have this dance and that freebie.
And that's what makes him so hard to guard, and he's loving it because of how hard he works to get open. And the elite shooters in the league, we so often see it, they do have that endurance to just work through every single ball screen as Dan Greedy gets the steal. And
oh yes, the two-hand jam.
The flying moulet
on the back of the steal. Blocks flowing through the air. A 15-point lead again.
7th turnover of the night for the Breakers. Jarrell Brantley gets a miss from that corner. If I'm Jarrell Brantley, I'm just standing there every single time. Do not move. 4 of 7 from 3, but he hasn't missed in that corner. 14 points.
Just run down the other end. Play a 4-man box.
What else you have to
stand
do?
in the corner. And wait for the ball to come to you.
Okay. No good. Brantley and Abercrombie. Sorry, McDowell White. Abercrombie in the corner. And good hustle. Great defense from the Hawks to win it back.
That's a great move from Repair, but that's when you need him to be a little bit more selfish. You put the heat on the rim. He's dang tries from that corner. Just trying to join the party.
Brantley would have given that a thought. Abercrombie. 10 points again.
Gomez just telling them, let's go. care if they've scored. Let's sprint down the other end.
Get it back. Tyler Harvey, deep three. No good. Brantley will fight and fight, but won at ground level by Hickey. Kicked out by Gack. Ding, ding. If that went in, that really would have been a boost for the Hawks.
Well, how bad do you want it? Hickey first on the floor.
Foul called on Greeter. Pardon's frustrated. Greeter wants to get in his face.
Jesus Christ. You don't need to escalate any further than what it is. Okay, he's the one rapping me. I don't do shit. Okay. You come straight to him, you need to talk to him. He's the aggressive one, bro. He's calm at the moment. That's right. Come on, man. He just told us to get the fuck out of here.
There's a bit of heat in this one. It's the bottom-placed Hawks against a team controlling its destiny towards the playoffs. It's almost like two teams fighting tooth and nail at the back end of the regular season.
I appreciate Dan Greeter. His level of competitiveness. Oh, Derek Pardon's the one I'm trying to go
That's a big
have
man.
a few words to.
That's a scary man. I'm trying to pick a fight with there.
Used to be back in the day when you saw people trying to have a few words to say to Nate Jarlow or Mika Vacona. You just, even if you're teammates with them, you're thinking, what are you doing?
Yeah, you got to pick your battles, Pete, and there are a couple of names I wouldn't pick any battles with.
So Mika down in Tassie, still wouldn't want to pick a battle with him.
He shook my hand and I had to ice it for half an hour.
Another open look for Brantley. He knocks down another three.
And that man is on fire from deep. 5 of 9 right now, 55%, 17 points.
His influence is growing as the Breakers work their way back. And the Hawks being squarely challenged now. They're as close as they've been for a long time. Madronya on the spin. That's a good finish. We'll go to Matt Russell.
A nice answer from Madronya, but Brantley coming up big indeed for the Breakers in the third, as he has at times this season. Wasn't so long ago, the Breakers were on a 4-game losing streak, their season on the line. And Brantley sunk or banked a bomb at the death to beat the Kings. They've won their 2 games since, and all of a sudden are eyeing the top 2.
McDowell White for 3. They are coming back big time now. The momentum is shifting.
You had to expect it. They were always going to come back and show these signs at some point in this game. And Illawarra, I'm Jacob Jacomas, I'm very close to maybe calling a timeout and just trying to blow up this momentum. Back-to-back threes from the Breakers.
Hickey.
And Harvey's on the bench right now, so he's your main playmaker with Sam Froling. Got to get Sam Froling some touches.
McDowell White long that time. Gack the rebound.
You're right, with no Tyler Harvey, you've got to get back to that short roll we highlighted at halftime and in the first half. That's where Sam Froling can do his best work. Right now, you're trying to let him take him off the dribble from the perimeter. He can do it, but he prefers that quick decision around the free throw line where he has 3 choices. They're getting nothing in the half court with no Tyler Harvey on the floor.
Pardon goes to work, kicks it out. Brantley, could he do it again? Of course he could. There's the timeout, and perhaps a little too long coming.
Steph Brantley is going off. 6 of 10. Well, beyond the arc. There's Will McDowell White. Nicely set up from the Arthur. In and out, 1-2. You can't leave that man to double right now. And to be honest, I'm not sure you need... You've just got to trust Sam Froling against Derek Pardon there. There's no need to dig that far down, especially leaving a man who's already hit 5 threes.
20 points to 7 the Breakers have scored in this third quarter so far. Modi Mayor, we heard Matt Russell talking about the importance of the top 2 finish for the Breakers. Let's hear what he had to say to Matt about that prospect.
You've got your top 2 hopes in your own hands. How significant is top 2 against anywhere else in the playoff picture, especially for the Breakers?
I mean, it's very significant for everyone. The way the postseason is structured, finishing in the top 2 means a lot. But for today, finishing in the top 2 means nothing. Today, we need to win against Illawarra, which are a tough, competitive team that just beat us. And that's what we're looking to, that's the score we're looking to settle.
And one step at a time.
Yeah.
Mody Mayo's the type that, if his birthday was on Christmas Eve, and normally you just put them both together and say, you know what, I'll just get presents on one day. He'd be like, no, I want my Christmas presents on Christmas Eve. That's my birthday. And then I want a different set on Christmas.
Fair
Take
call.
it a day at a time. And to be honest,
both values need to be
the exact same,
greater than each other.
Correct.
You can't give me a really good one on today and a bad one tomorrow.
Spot on.
You wouldn't want to try and plan anything, though, long-term with Mody Mayo, because he'd only tell you that he couldn't look in his diary past today. Kicked out to repair. Kept alive. And low foul in the paint. And things are swinging. What did you hear at the timeouts, Brad and Matty?
Alistair, we know that in the third quarter, New Zealand are winning the period 20-7 as we speak, but it was all about the defence for Mody Mayo. He said it's starting with the defence. This is all because of our D. Brad Rosen?
Yeah, Jacob just gave 3 things. He said, number 1, you've got to stop over-dribbling. We were passing the ball and running a lot cleaner and moving around. Stop the over-dribble. 2, get down and guard your man. We have to stop it. And 3, if you didn't think New Zealand were going to make a run, why are we here? Let's get going and let's get back to that Hawks ball.
That margin now only 1. It was 16 at 3/4 time. Led by 5 against the Perth Wildcats in their last game, the Illawarra Hawks, at half-time. And they were overrun comprehensively. Outscored 56-31 after half-time.
You really respect how New Zealand have gone about it right now. You see the pressure starting to go up on the defensive end. There's no real chippiness at the referees. They're just playing the next play every single time. And defensively, they're really locking down against a team that was white hot in the first half.
Tyler Harvey, 10 points in the first quarter. He's back on court here after a bit of a break. He's got 13 points tonight, so he's been contained after quarter time. Lockie Dent. Yes, he gets it done. It cries of double dribble.
It wasn't pretty, but it's going to count.
All of a sudden, there's some tension inside the Win Entertainment Centre. And another easy finish underneath low.
Things are opening up on the offensive end. Just some simple ball movement. And this is what we highlighted at half-time. When you've got a team that's just playing really aggressive and up and in, you can kind of make things happen.
All of a sudden, Harvey's increasingly off target. How about that from Greeter? That's aggressive.
The flying Moulay is up and about.
He's making his presence felt. Barry Brown Jr. wearing it.
Impressive display.
And I tell you what, that's a pretty good effort.
The net was going, the hair was going.
Gotta be the hair, Cotton.
Put it in a ponytail, Pete.
Let that thing fly.
In all its splendor, Pete.
We're probably what?
They haven't led since the first quarter, the New Zealand Breakers.
I think he's hurt his elbow there, Dan Greeter. We're looking at NBL, end of NBL 24, maybe the NBL 25. That could be Jordan Jet levels of how low that hair could go.
The last minute last week.
Scores level.
He is known for some big blocks. He'll contest everything. He was on this floor a couple of seasons ago. Houston Rocket, just Sean Tate, I believe it was, who had a nice block, if my memory serves me correctly.
What a turnaround from the Breakers. They take the lead with just over 90 seconds remaining in the third quarter. They trailed by 16 at half-time. Jacob Jacomas said it. It's what you'd expect from a quality team like the Breakers. Now for the response from the Illawarra Hawks. Foul called on Liafa.
Just a discipline by New Zealand. That's their first foul of the third quarter. Now, some might say the referees have put the whistles away, Pete, but That, to me, is absolute discipline. They haven't jumped at ball fakes. They haven't over-rotated. They've kept their hands in their pockets, walled up, and made Illawarra do exactly this, make plays, but...
Turnover, Abercrombie.
Well, that was Exhibit A, Greg, because instead of it's just playing disciplined basketball, you're going to jump and wall up, going sideways. Don't worry about potentially bringing your hands down, and there might be a couple they've got away with, but they've adjusted. They've adjusted to the way that it was officiated, especially for them. They had 6 fouls in the first quarter. They've really locked in this third quarter. Look where Sam Froling has to catch that ball.
And look at the Amy replay here. Just look at the defensive intensity from New Zealand. Everyone's staying home. There's no over-rotation. There's a switch there, but just playing the passing lanes perfectly. No over-rotations. Leads to an easy push. And you look at Illawarra's defense there. There's no transition defense or picking up the ball. Complete opposite ends right now.
And that play you highlighted. So Tom Abercrombie makes the read. That's an elite defender in Tom Abercrombie. That's a travel there from Barry Brown Jr.
Jacob Jacobus has been given a behaviour warning, so things getting a little out of hand.
So Tom Abercrombie realises Rob Lowe has the height advantage to help on Lockie Dent's drive. So he's going to make a hook shot running over Rob Lowe. You live with it. So he ends up going back to that corner and causes that turnover.
Emotions pouring out. 16 points the lead at half-time to the Hawks, and now a 13-point lead to the Breakers. The turnovers ever increasing. The Breakers starting to feel it. Great defense, denies repair first time and second, but he's fouled and will go to the line.
It's a great wall out from Tim Conrad. Really Illawarra Hawks. Tim Conrad's come across and walled up, saying he took it through the chest. Somebody's got to come and rip down this rebound. Have a look at it here. Breakers on the run, and Tim Conrad, that's an exceptional wall up. So if you're Sam Froling, I know it's Barry Brown Jr., but you've got to get in there and just throw him out the way with your body so you can rip down that rebound and stop any chance at a second opportunity. 11 O boards to New Zealand in this game. Having said that, Derek Pardon, 0. Wow. So 11 offensive rebounds without Derek Pardon featuring.
Paul's had his issues from the charity stripe. That one does go. The Breakers have outscored the Hawks 29-9 in this quarter, and that was coming off the Breakers' worst second quarter of the season. They managed only 13 points in that second quarter to the Hawks 20. Conrad, kick ahead. Madronya, oh goodness. And the time has expired. So the Breakers make their move like they had to, and they lead at three-quarter time, 63-59. The Illawarra Hawks had their moments in that third quarter. Dan Greeter, he was heavily involved, and he wanted to be a bit more involved, if not for the ref stepping in there. I'm sure it was the best play going at Parton, but the Breakers squarely challenged by the bottom-placed Hawks, and they lifted in that third period. They went from 16 points down to 4 points up. Can the Hawks find another gear again?
It was a massive third quarter and completely expected. Everyone thought that New Zealand would go on a run and show why they have been so successful this year. And that was it in that third quarter. I understand that you're trying to play everybody down the stretch when your season's done and dusted, but we're in a position to win a ball game. Tyler Harvey, the way he's going and getting so much of the defensive attention, I think he's going to be playing 38 minutes. You didn't see him for a couple of minutes in the third quarter, and New Zealand just fully pressured and managed to turn the tables well and truly.
Brad Rosen had his ear over things at three-quarter time. Brad, what did you notice?
Yeah, I think that's a great point that you make about Tyler. He's in the game now, and they will look to go to him. Jacob just said, let's not over-dribble. Let's just keep doing that dribbling, keep moving the ball around, defensively, guard. But then he looked at him and said, guys, I'm into this game because I know you can win it. Play 10 minutes hard and the game's ours. Matty, what about New Zealand?
Intriguing to watch Coach of the Year nomination, Modi Mayor. After the big third quarter, all the players came into the huddle, pumped up, barking instructions to each other, and Modi just told them all to calm down, took the middle of the huddle and just didn't say anything for a few moments, and then said, no matter what happens, no matter what the Hawks throw at us, we stay simple, we stay strong, we play Breakers ball. It was all about bringing his players back to themselves and back to the game.
Yeah, great analysis from both Brad and Matt tonight courtside, and you can see the contrast between the two coaches as well. Jacob Jacome is so outwardly invested, you can see, so demonstrative. Modi's maybe working into things a little bit here, but he's largely been a picture of calm, even despite his team having its struggles early on. Froling drives and gets two important points at the start of the last quarter to draw his team within two.
Froling now with 15 points leads the way for Illawarra, but it's the attack right there, getting back on his left hand. He knows he's so dominant there. As Rob Lowe just gets to the middle of the floor with a beautiful right hand hook to answer. But Illawarra a little unlucky just to start this fourth quarter. 2 shots around the rim and a deflection out of bounds that probably could have gone their way. Positive signs early. They just got to keep that foot down on the defensive end.
Froling again, goes to work on Glidden. Kicks it out to Hickey. And he pulls the trigger and drops the 3 ball.
It's an incredibly impressive make from Hickey. That ball was a Yorker at the feet. You fumbled it. Shot clock winding down, so you don't even have time to really set yourself and let it fly.
Sutton. Only one separate these two teams. Brantley been very influential. Abercrombie for 3, long. And the Hawks have possession. Harvey, 13 points tonight, but 10 of those in the first quarter. No good. Shooting percentage is falling away. Now 1 of 5 from outside the arc. Compare that with Jarrell Brantley, 6 of 10. 3-point range. Brantley 20 points tonight. And this is far away for Abercrombie.
And just such simple basketball. As Modi spoke about in that huddle, just understanding Brantley there with the double team, kicks it back out to the feeder. Rotation comes, that weak side's wide open. Without a hesitation, makes a beautiful skip pass, and Tom Abercrombie just walks right into one.
That's going to be a trouble from David Hickey again. Tom Abercrombie moving his feet. His length's going to worry smaller guards. Replay. Look at that. That is not a pass you want to get when you've got your feet set ready to launch a 3 ball. That's more like it. Cross-court pass in the shot pocket.
And even Rob Lowe there, just understanding his role, screens and just takes out one of those defenders. 2 run away, and if that ball misses, as the turnover.
Swakala Bullock for the 2-hand jam. Nearly ripped the ring off. Theatrics. Well, everything points to an entertaining finish here. Harry Brown Jr. gets it back. Liafa never afraid to pull the trigger. Well done by Lowe. Floated from Barry Brown off the glass.
13 offensive rebounds right now for New Zealand. Extra opportunities.
Harvey, Froling, kicks it out to Greta. Tyler Harvey, and the foul was called on Brantley.
No, it wasn't. Number one pick.
Another look at the steal and the jam.
Just making sure the backboard was locked in. 11 turnovers for New Zealand. Just had a couple of those loose passes. It's really just token pressure. They're not trying to force anything, not trying to trap anything with that full court pressure. It's really trying to delay New Zealand. You give them a gift of that lazy cross-court pass.
The Breakers win tonight and then can beat the Bullets at Nissan Arena in Brisbane as Harvey comes up with 2 more. He's to 15 points, margin is 2. If they can do that, the Breakers will finish second and the advantage is huge. Straight through to the playoffs. And they get the 2 home semi-finals in the 3-game series as Barry Brown gets to work again.
Loves that wrong-footed floater.
Timeout is called here. Margin is only 4. There's a lot happening. 72-68 to the Breakers. $16 points, remembering, was the greatest margin held by the Illawarra Hawks, and that was at half-time. In that 3rd quarter, the New Zealand Breakers 29 points to the Hawks 9. The Hawks equal worst 3rd quarter of the season. After they'd performed so well to halftime. Can they finish things off tonight? They fell away last week in the loss to the Perth Wildcats. Comprehensively outscored after halftime, 56-31. But they're keeping themselves in this. We've seen what happened last time when things got tight over in New Zealand. Tyler Harvey had his moment of brilliance.
Staying around, that's what you've got to do if you're Illawarra. Stay confident, stay loose.
Six really important minutes in the context of the season. Pride for the Illawarra Hawks as they try and find a 4th win and ensure that this group does not become the team to register the fewest wins in a season. 1983, 4 wins.
To be honest, they don't deserve it. When you look at the way they kind of came out to fight this, I guess, last third of the season, it's been terrific with what they've gone through, losing Justin Robertson in game 1. They bring in Peyton Seaver eventually. That's going to be an offensive foul on Sam Froling. Peyton Seaver gets hurt. They bring in Michael Fraser. George King gets hurt, has to go home. Another important signing they had at the beginning of the season. Michael Fraser fractures his arm. So much has gone against them. And this is all on top of initially, after last season, losing 4 of their 5 top scorers.
It's a great point, Pete. And then on the other side of the equation stand the Breakers. Barry Brown foul.
Yeah, it's a late whistle. It looked like the right one. Still challenge there if you want to use it. Jacob Jackomas. Barry Brown Jr., I think, is more shocked that the whistle came so late. Have another look at it here. And
certainly made sure that it was noticed.
yeah, you can see that there, the left arm was across. Straight across Tyler Harvey's arm. They don't agree.
I understand. I understand.
Well, there's a bit in this. The Breakers on the brink of going back to the NBL finals for the first time in 4 seasons. The last 4 seasons they missed out. Brad Rosen
Yeah, look, I just wanted to let everyone know what the Illawarra Hawks are trying to do now. They spoke about that in the timeout, is their 12. It is their half-court trap. They believe that's what can keep them and get them the win in this game. So look for them to be long and tall at the beginning, try and cause turnovers and get out and run.
It's out to 6 all of a sudden. What do these Hawks have within them?
Time left in this game. Tyler Harvey's trying to...
How about that?
New Zealand are begging. Here is that 12 action they're talking about. You've got Dan Green with Energize running up the top. Trying to cause some things to happen.
Bounce pass to Brantley. Brantley feeds repair. Cutting baseline.
It's just beautiful basketball.
And they get it back again. Brantley looking for support, goes himself. No good, and Green to the rebound. They are close enough, but have they got what it takes, the Hawks, against high-caliber opponents?
That's right there was exhibit A what Azalea Arthur does so well. If he's going to pressure you full court, you've got to put a move on. You can't just change the direction once and try and get around, because he's so quick and moving side to side that if he picks the right way, he's going to put his body on the line, hit the deck, but cause the turnover. So you've got to try and shake him off rather than try and beat him with speed.
Tyler Harvey. From the Hawks' perspective, he just feels so much hinges on what he can do from here. With under 5 minutes to go, maybe Froling can have a big save. He holds on desperately. Harvey for 3. Oh, yes! What a play! Matty Russell, down to you.
Now Modi Mayor asked his team to focus again, but last time out, he said to his men, stop playing or stop passing side to side. It's not working for us. Get into the keyway, now a turnover.
Hello.
Swakala Bullock steals, goes for the 3. He can't connect, and the Breakers just take a deep breath or two.
Hasn't been a massive night from Will McDowell-White, but these are the minutes when you've got a team that's pressing, and he has had a couple of ill-advised passes, but he's just starting point guard. He's the man to really control things. I think you've still got to trust that he's going to come up with the right play to kind of break the pressure.
Tyler Harvey's up to 20 points now. He wants more. He'll get more. Timeout called. 1 point the difference. Last place, really challenging a team that is looking to try and lock away second position over the next few days. This is some performance. What are you seeing, Mitch Creek?
Well, I mean, right here we're seeing Sam Froling put his body on the line. 2 New Zealand Breakers reach for that ball. He has first body to the ground, gives Tyler Harvey an opportunity for a deep falling out of bounds 3. And then down on his left hand, Tyler Harvey again leading the way for the Illawarra Hawks and leading scorer of this game with 22.
10 of those in the first quarter went quiet for a while, but he's starting to really find his groove again in this last quarter with the game on the line.
I think that's what's really impressed me most, really, in this second half of the season. We know he had his struggles shooting the ball, but he's just finding other ways to get involved. If he's starting to feel his shots coming up short or his floater, he takes an extra dribble. He's a bit more patient, a bit more selective with his shots rather than continuing to try and force the same one over and over. And we know that once he's feeling good about himself, this is what happens. That hoop turns into a hula hoop and he feels good. 2 of 6 from outside. It should be 3. He was a toenail over in the first quarter with that long 2 on the right-hand side. We've seen on the shot chart, but Tyler Harvey, we always knew if Illawarra want to get the job done here, it's going to take a big night from him.
And how's the level of consistency, Craigie? That's now 10 consecutive games where he has scored 21 points or more.
Yeah, it's exceptionally hard in this league to have any kind of scoring nights in that 20-point realm. But as you said, 10 in a row now. It's an absolutely incredible feat, not just by him, but his teammates of getting him the ball and understanding that every other team you come up against, the scout's going to be, don't let Tyler Harvey beat us. And right now, he's the man that's stepping up and making big plays, giving Illawarra a massive chance to win this game and make it 4 wins for the season.
It's the devil they know, the New Zealand Breakers. They've seen it before. And what about that move from Abercrombie? The 2-hand jam.
Donkey Rory's over, but...
Nice little shepherd there from Derek Pardon as well. That's what you want your big man to do, clear the key way out.
We'll stay with Harvey for a second. Two go to him. Froling thought about pulling the trigger. Goes inside, blocked by Pardon.
Don't think I didn't catch on to. If it's extremely hard to score 20, then I have no idea what it would be to get over 45.
Matt Russell, I imagine it's a tense environment courtside.
Absolutely, not so fun as it was in the first half for the home fans, but great awareness from New Zealand's Tom Vodanovic. He yelled at his 5 on-court Breakers teammates, go hard at Tyler Harvey, the Hawks match winner. He's on 4 fouls.
Gack. Oh, flying, there's Dan Greener.
Port no board for Greta. Gack, Harvey from downtown. Gack goes up again, lost control of it.
I think you should have grabbed it. Even if you think that potentially is your ball, you're close enough. You just got to reach out and grab that. Give yourself an extra opportunity. Get some good looks. Use that full court pressure again.
Yeah, that is Matty's brought to light that other little area of intrigue in all of this. The Tyler Harvey 4th personal foul factor. Abercrombie right-hand finish. Margin out to 5.
That is exactly how you have to break the pressure, look to score. Just because you get past that first line of defense, which is Swarkler, Bullock, Tyler Harvey and Dan Greta, don't slow it down. You need to continue to try and get a quick basket before their D set up.
Barry Brown Jr., 13 points tonight. Draws the foul, and it doesn't roll in.
Can't keep a good man down for long. 13 points. Just played the 8 minutes in this second half. Nearly somehow gets that to go.
Let's go to Brad Rosen.
Yeah, I just want to talk about him. That, to me, is the best 6 man in the league. He did struggle in the half. You look at that last play, he was able to drive baseline, gave it to Abercrombie for the 2. He's really controlled this game tonight, a little bit like what William McDowell White has been able to do in other games. They are stacked in that point guard. They're going to make this run, and they're looking to finish this game out.
It's going to be a very close vote, I think, in the end, because Barry Brown Jr. for a long time had it on lock. Best 6th man in the NBL. Missed a bit of time and then started a few games, which didn't matter. He was always going to qualify with the games he did play off the bench. But Tyler Johnson came home like a house on fire for the Bullets. He was outstanding.
Yeah, I think he's been exceptional as well. He's definitely in the running for it, as we know. But I just think that Barry Brown Jr. has been exceptional all year long. As we spoke about, 20 points per game coming off the bench for a team pushing for a top 2 compared to someone who's in the bottom 2. Now, I know the ladder doesn't affect this award, but I think right now what he's done for this team this season has been,
I think he's
incredible.
He's definitely in the box seat. I think he's definitely my prediction to win it.
Bullets and Breakers go head-to-head on Saturday night as well. In the last game of the regular season for New Zealand, as they look to win here and then win on Saturday night and lock away 2nd spot.
Next Tuesday night, after it all wraps up, the Gazies.
Yes, it's going to be a great night.
It's always nice of the great man to sponsor such an iconic event.
Gazy shells out and puts the whole night on. Swarkler Bullock. Something very special's got to happen now for the Hawks. Swarkler Bullock. Greta attacks at Brantley equally. And now Brown. Barry Brown finishing things off. It's out to double digits now. The Breakers have pulled the trigger.
And I think he heard us, Pete, and he just said, you know what, boys, I'm going to sign the trophy right now. Thank you very much.
Great, that. And again, it's great recognition. You basically isolate him on the wing. With Tyler Harvey's got 4 fouls, so he can only be so aggressive without fouling, and you probably let him off the hook by settling for a 3-ball. But Barry Brown Jr. up to 18 points now in just 17 minutes, and there it is. Mighty Gazies.
The Andrew Gaze MVP night. The awards night, Tuesday, 7th of February, 8:30 p.m. Australian Eastern Daylight Time. That is an event not to be missed. Mitch Creek alongside me. Serious contender for the MVP. Among other things. Kicked out. Glidden at the feet set. Brantley. He's in no hurry. Shot clock down to 4. Illawarra Hawks ball.
New Zealand these last 3 minutes have really just locked in defensively, and the conversations that Modi and his staff have had with this team have obviously paid dividends, because right now Illawarra are having a hard time bringing the ball up. They're having a hard time getting it inside and making plays late in this game.
They've run out of gas a little bit too, that energy, and also New Zealand have lifted theirs, which they're always going to do.
Ding, ding. It's a tough finish. Timeout. Under a minute to go in the game. Margin is 6.
Not over by any means. Get one stop, good offensive set. Lock back in. Plenty left to go in the last 58 seconds.
So I touched on it.
Oh.
The MVP, Pete Hawley, had some fantastic players across the course of the season, but Bryce Cotton, brilliant again, as he has been season after season for the Perth Wildcats. And Mitch Creek, what a year he's had. Fantastic all season. He's been averaging 23.4 points per game. And then Xavier Cooks gave us one of the dunks of the season, the dunk of the season. One of the best dunks we've seen in the competition. So there are the 3. Peter Hawley, what do you reckon? Where are you going?
With most awards, but especially that, I mean, I think you can make a very strong case for each of those individuals, because you take either one of their seasons, both statistically and the impact they've had on their team, and put it on any other year, they're probably going to be the runaway winner.
And Craigie, to be nominated for that award.
I mean, anytime you get nominated for something like that, it's a nice recognition for some of the hard work that not just you, but your friends and family and other people have sacrificed for you to get you to that moment. But none of us play for these awards. We all play for, you know, the championship trophy at the end of the season. But along the way, sometimes you run into something like this, and for me, it's the first time. And I know my best mate, Tyler Neville, shout out big Neville Bartos, called me today and said, man, I seen a thing today, and he goes, it made me teary just seeing that so much hard work you've put in, you know, gets recognised. And, you know, as I said, it's not about MVPs or all-star teams or anything like that. For none of these players, it's about championships. And, you know, to have an Andrew Gaze award is incredible, the GOAT of Australian basketball. But, yeah, you know, these guys out here are playing for bigger fish to fry. So, for me, it's an amazing honour, but one that, you know, no matter what happens, everyone in the categories nominated are deserving awardees.
It has been an exceptional season for yourself. If you do manage to get the nod, we're going to see one of those celebrations after that 46 point. I'm not sure exactly what that was. I do remember back to those Adelaide 36ers days.
Yeah, it was a good time with you, Pete, back in Adelaide.
2009. It's way back.
Back with the South Adelaide Panthers.
Oh, I didn't end up getting to play. I do remember that. Recruited you and Daniel Johnson for the old Adelaide Premier League. And excited, and college put their foot down and wouldn't let me play.
Some good years in Adelaide there, mate. We had some very good memories together.
He's finished this game out really strongly, Barry Brown Jr. 19 points now, so averaging 19.4 per game.
That's a clip stat. 20 points in 18 minutes. He is just spark plug.
I know you spoke about it before, Pete, but coming into that half-time mark, he was minus 22 coming into that, and understanding that now he's only minus 11, which means when he's been on the court, his team's 11 points better off, and he's been the man right now. He may not be leading the way, tied with Brantley, but 20 points and having such a huge effect on this game late. I think he's the key runaway player for tonight, and the reason why New Zealand go on to win this game.
We might have a hard time. Gerald Brantley still has the 20 points, 6 rebounds, and 6 of 11. But you're right, the first half, it's just very unlike Barry Brown Jr. Not sure whether they had a late nap on game day, but that minus 22 in just 8 minutes, and I'm sure he would have just been itching to get out for the third quarter. When you have a bad first half like that, you just want to get out there and show what you can do.
It's very likely he'll be joining Tyler Harvey, in a game-high 22 points. He makes both these free throw attempts. He's only missed one tonight. So now 10 of 11 from the charity stripe. So as much as Modi Mayor will be disappointed with the first half, he'll be able to draw plenty from the way the Breakers have found something, overcome some adversity in this game, trailed by 16 at half-time, found another level.
Well, this is their championship level to really contend this year. It's been this second half. As Illawarra, this might be having a look at a potential challenge. So he wanted it. As Illawarra wanted it, Modi Mayo basically said, don't worry about it. I think he's thinking that this game might be in the bag. We don't need to worry about that. But this is that last 20 minutes. This is exactly what New Zealand has done all season long to put themselves in the position to finish top 2 on the ladder. Ramped it up defensively, and then offensively they've started to get a little loose, get things flowing. Jarrell Brantley's been outstanding, Barry Brown Jr. And everyone else just chipped in. Tom Abercrombie, 11 points. Repair has 7 points. Rob Lowe, 8 points. Everybody else just chipped in when they had to. That's probably what's going to be the most impressive thing, if you're Modi Mayo looking at this, is everyone else contributing. Because when you come to the finals in series, it's the bench that really sets apart whatever team is in that series. It's going to be Deng Deng early night, fouled out with 27 seconds to go. But Rob Lowe to come in and have an impact, as we mentioned. And Cam Glidden just hit the 1-3, but it came a timely one. Tom Abercrombie was great. The Arthur's only got the 1 point, but defensively, I think he really had to make Tyler Harvey work. 8 of 19 from the field for Tyler Harvey. Had to run a lot more in the second half. Try and shake that tag, essentially, from Isaiah Liafa.
Yeah, and you're spot on there, Pete. We talked about Isaiah Liafa's defensive prowess previously in other matchups and how they've gone away from that tonight. He's gone back and taken that matchup, and although Tyler Harvey's come out and had 22 points, he's had to earn every single one of them, and late in this game, he's been absolutely crucial.
I think this is why I'm pushing for, I don't know if we've got too many awards as it is, but I'd love to see an all-defensive team in the award night, because it's been the hot topic of the week of a couple of unlucky elite defenders in this league who aren't in the top 3 finalists for the award. I think you'd still have some unlucky players miss out on an all-defensive team.
We saw that fade out last week from the Hawks, outscored 56-31 after half-time. Tonight, it's 57-31 after half-time. They led by 16, but the first piece of the puzzle falls into place for the New Zealand Breakers as they look to lock in second spot on the table, and they come from 16 points down to defeat the Illawarra Hawks 91-81. The footlocker player of the game is Jarrell Brantley. He's 20 points.
Set the tone.
Brilliant.
6 of 11
pointers.
Yeah, six rebounds and 3 assists. And Barry Brown Jr. made a late run at it, but that first half, I think, is probably what probably separates him from getting the $250 footlocker voucher.
So the first part of the job done for the Breakers, and then they play the Brisbane Bullets on Saturday night to lock in second. It finished 91 the Breakers, the Hawks 81 in the Hungry Jacks NBL.
Jarrell Brantley has had a hot hand at key times for the Breakers this season, and again tonight, like his banked bomb against Sydney not too long ago. Plenty of three-pointers in the third quarter that started the Breakers' comeback, because this has been a remarkable game in terms of the Hawks leading 50-34 at halftime. Brad Rosen, what did the Breakers win the second half by?
57-31, Matty. Exactly what we thought would, in a sense, happen. New Zealand have been great all year, but that's what Illawarra have been like. They've been good, but haven't been great. That man there, Footlocker player of the game, you just said it. He was amazing. 20 points, did it all. It was the way he was controlled. Got knocked early in the eye, came out, just composed himself, put his eyelash back in or his contact lens, then came out and he was brilliant. Good win by New Zealand, just one they had to get done.
The Breakers had no momentum at halftime. There was such energy at the sandpit. I wondered how they could come back from 16 points down. It was answered quickly in the third quarter. Barry Brown Jr. started to assert his presence on the game. Only 5 points to halftime, no other stats. But boy, second half, the big players stood up.
Best sixth man in the league right there. That's what we say. 22 points and he was brilliant. And I was listening to Creaky, just the way he talks about him. He's a player that's played against this guy. He knows. And that guy was outstanding. He's only been back for a few games. Had a groin injury. He's had a few little niggles. But he is looking really good. And that's what they need from him to go deep in the playoffs.
So the Breakers stay on track for a top 2 finish. All they need to do is beat the Bullets on Saturday night. And let's consider that our thoughts go out to the people of New Zealand, especially in Auckland because of the flooding. Well, the Breakers didn't know their travel arrangements. They went from Auckland to Queenstown belatedly, then Sydney, now Wollongong, then bound for Brisbane on Saturday. So much travel, that only adds weight to tonight's win.
Well, we see the rest of the ladder here and look at those games coming up. But can I just say, if anyone doesn't want the Breakers to be there, they're wrong. What they've gone through over the last few years, and now it's at them again. They're sitting in second spot. Well done, great job for Modi. But look at those games, Matty. Love them all.
Let me ask you about the Breakers a bit more. What do you think about their championship hopes? We know Sydney's going to finish first after tonight's win, and the way they were scared but held composure and won.
Everyone's always said who's going to beat the Sydney Kings, and there's a lot of talk about Cairns because they match up well, and I agree with that. New Zealand, they're the next one. They can get them.
Well, the good news is the final round of the Hungry Jacks NBL has 3 games to go, double headers for each of them. We look forward to your company starting tomorrow. What a thrilling end to Hungry Jacks 2023.
This program is brought to you by Hungry Jacks and Bunnings Warehouse.